How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. I also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about SOS and EBON. Of course, they had a pullback today. So you know what? We're going to be talking more about it. But before we get started, of course, you know, we have to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're considering to take a position, I suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is a technical analysis. We want to see those areas of support. Is it continuing? And we also want to see those areas of resistance. And if it does decide to pull back, some areas that we can look out for so we can take advantage of further opportunities. Secondly, we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information. We want to know, what is the market sentiment around these stocks? Is it positive or is it negative? Are there a lot of short sellers vested in this play? Well, we're about to find out. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts as well as some more key details. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOS. Let's see how it performed on a day. So ended up closing at $3.40, being down 6.34%. On the low, it tested $3.29, and on the high, testing $3.57. So before we get started, we're using the 1-year daily chart. We want to see how it's lining up with our indicators here. So we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 42.32 points. So yes, it is in the oversold territory. It is right below 50. Now we want to see how it's lining up with our indicators. So it is below the 100-day. It is also below the 200-day, and it's also below the 21-day EMA. So it's starting to look bearish, but of course this is of no surprise due to the fact that we've had a pullback in the crypto sector. So just taking this into consideration, this is why you need to realize and know this is going to have an impact on SOS. But the good thing about it is we are right on an area of support here where we close at this $3.40 level. We did test $3.29 and ended up showing some strength, coming back up to a high, getting to $3.57. But trading sideways and staying in this area of support is really not a bad thing. When crypto starts to rebound and starts to take off again, then SOS will be benefiting from this. Most in particularly, we got to be talking about Bitcoin here. Bitcoin shows some strength, then we're going to see strength in SOS. If Bitcoin does decide to pull back even further, then just know we're going to come back to testing the $3 level. I just want to make sure you're prepared and you're also aware of that. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the short interest information for SOS. So the short volume ratio is at 25%, and this is taking the close as of June the 18th. What does this look like? So out of 9.1 million shares that were traded, 2.2 million of these shares were actually sold short. As we take a look at the short shares availability, it is at 500,000, updated 3 minutes ago, and the short borrow free rate is at 9.18%. If we take a look now at the short volume ratio, we can see here back on the 17th, it was at 29.97, so right on 30. So we do have some shorts who have covered their positions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this looks like later on in the evening. So we're going to do a technical analysis for EBON. So let's see how it performed on the day. So ended up closing at $3.35, being down 8.47% on the day. On the low, it tested $3.23, and then on the high, testing $3.50. So right away, we want to take a look at how is it lining up with our indicators. We're using the 1-year daily chart. We take a look at the RSI down below. Yes, it is right around 45, so it is in that oversold territory because it is right below 50, all right? Now, we want to see how it's lining up with the 200-day. Of course, it's below that, also below the 100-day, and it's also below the 21-day EMA. The good thing about it is this is an area where we have support in regards to where EBON ended up closing. Like what I was saying for SOS, it's definitely impacted by what's going down inside of the crypto sector. So if it does decide to pull back further, this is where high conviction comes into play. If you believe in the long-term prospects of EBON, then this is where you have an opportunity to add to bring your cost average down or be able to get in at a really good price. And then when crypto decides to reverse, then you could be able to enjoy the run up here. But do keep in mind, we do have an area of resistance right here at this $4 level, because when EBON does get there it gets hit with tremendous amount of selling pressure. But I do believe if we could pass this $4 level with a lot of volume and a lot of demand and then reach this level right here around 450, EBON can really take off from there. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for EBON. So you can see here the short volume ratio is at 8%. And what does this look like? So out of 13.7 million shares that were traded, we had 1.1 million of these shares that were actually sold short, and this is taking close as of June the 18th. Now, when we take a look at the short shares availability, it is at 4 million, updated 6 minutes ago, and the short borrow free rate is at 1.87%. So you can see right away there's definitely some shorts who had to cover their positions when it comes to EBON here. You can see on the 17th it was at 21.33, and now that it's down to 8.47, just tells you that shorts had to cover. This also does mean, as far as for the overall market sentiment for EBON, it is very positive. The fact of the matter is there's definitely a lot to look forward to in regards to the potential of this stock, and I must say seeing EBON at 8% is something that is really good to see, and it's going to be interesting to see what the updated short volume ratio will be later on today. So for my final thoughts for SOS and EBON, the pullback that we saw today was of no surprise. Of course, we have a lot of volatility going down inside of the crypto sector. We had China coming out saying, hey, you know what, we're going to continue to crack down on cryptocurrencies. They want to focus on the digital yen here. So this is what we need to understand. They have their own interests. So seeing crypto bleed out the way it has been doing, this is no surprise, right? And this is why it has an impact on SOS, EBON, and as well as a lot of other cryptocurrency related stocks. So being aware will make sure you're prepared when these pullbacks do occur. This also comes down to the point of, hey, you need to have high conviction, because if you believe in these plays, then you're going to be adding more when they do pull back, and this will help in regards to bringing your cost average down and be able to maximize even more profit when they begin to run back up, especially when we see this movement going down inside of the crypto sector. When we take a look at the short interest information, of course, for EBON, as far as for the market sentiment, it is looking very positive. It is well below 10% for the short volume ratio being at 8% exactly. And then when we take a look at SOS, it is still well above 21%. So taking all of this into consideration and knowing that the both of them both have a resistance area right at that $4 level is something that we know, we're aware of. We know the value of these stocks. So we know, hey, this is what things are looking like when things pick back up. These stocks will have the opportunity to take off, especially with SOS having a much higher short interest. So now that you guys are equipped and you're aware of what to look forward to inside of the market, there should be no reason why you're panicking, but like I said, this is why it's important to have high conviction. So that pretty much ends the video. I look forward to the rest of the week, and let's see how these stocks perform.